Welcome! The topic for this professional standards training is Offer versus Serve for the school lunch program. This webinar will go over the Offer versus Serve guidelines for lunch and what makes a reimbursable meal for lunch. Much of the information in the upcoming slides will be a review of material previously covered in the Offer versus Serve for School Breakfast Program webinar, as Offer versus Serve applies to both breakfast and lunch. Managers, please remember, you may pause this video at any time for questions your staff may have or for comments you may want to add. What is Offer versus Serve? Offer versus Serve is a method that allows students to select foods they want to eat and decline other food components they do not want. Students must be offered all 5 required components. Under Offer versus Serve, students may decline any food component except the fruit or vegetable component. Allowing students to select what they want to eat reduces food waste, which also reduces food costs. That is why we stress offering a variety of fruits and vegetables along with following the district menu, which offers the students many options to choose from. Pictures shown here are examples from lines at different schools offering a nice variety of fresh fruits and vegetables. This chart is an example of meal components offered for lunch. As you can see, under the meat component column, the items pictured are chicken tenders, yogurt, and cheese. Other items that fall under the meat component column include hamburgers, chicken wings, lasagna, spaghetti, beefaroni, and veggie burgers. Under the bread component column, the items pictured are sliced bread, pita chips, and brown rice. Other items that also fall under the bread grain component include tortillas, dinner rolls, hamburger buns, and macaroni and cheese when it is served as a side item. Milk is the only food item that falls under the dairy component. Under the vegetable component column, the items pictured are carrots, lettuce, and black beans. Other items that fall under the vegetable component include sweet potato fries, seasoned fries, mashed potatoes, corn, broccoli, and broccoli Normandy. Under the fruit component column, the items pictured are applesauce, banana, and juice. Other items that fall under the fruit component beside fresh fruit, canned or frozen fruit, and juice include craisins and frozen juice cups. Reimbursable lunch requirements. Reimbursable lunches must include 3, 4, or 5 meal components, and at least one of those components must be a fruit or a vegetable. Even though lunch must include at least 3 components, milk, grains, and the meat alternate components are not required. Only a half-cup serving of fruit or juice or a half-cup serving of vegetable is a required component for lunch. The following components are required to be offered. The meat alternate component, which is offered in 2-ounce portions. The grain component is offered in either 1 or 2-ounce portions depending on the grade level. And again, this is a good reason to always review recipes to ensure you are serving the correct portion size. And the fruit or juice component is a 1-cup portion, but served in half-cup portions, and the same for the vegetable component. And of course, milk is always offered in 8 fluid ounces. When only 3 components are selected, and 2 of those components are a fruit and a vegetable, this is not a reimbursable lunch. To complete this lunch and make a reimbursable meal, a student may choose another vegetable component, such as a side salad, or a student may choose a bread component, such as pita chips, or they may choose a meat alternate component, such as chicken tenders, and last but not least, a student may choose another fruit component, such as a juice, to make a reimbursable meal. But remember, students may never take 2 juices. Portion sizes. All fruits and vegetables are to be served in half-cup portions, with the exception of side salads. Side salads are to be served in 1-cup portions, but they count as a half-cup portion serving size. Below are examples of how the district serves fruits and vegetables. 1 fresh fruit is equal to a half-cup portion, therefore equals 1 portion. Applesauce is served as a half-cup and is equal to 1 portion. Broccoli is served as a half-cup and is equal to 1 portion. Juice is served as a half-cup or 4-ounce portion and is equal to 1 portion also. And the side salad, as we mentioned above, is served in 1-cup portions, which is really the equivalent of a half-cup serving size, and equals 1 portion. Recipes with multiple food components. Pizza equal a meat and a bread component, which is 2 components. The cheese counts as the meat alternate component, and the pizza crust counts as the bread or grain component. The chef salad equals 1 meat, 1 bread, and 2 vegetable components. So that's a total of 3 different components. The deli meat in the salad counts as the meat component. In this picture, the crackers count as the bread component, and the lettuce and other vegetable count as 2 vegetable components because there should be at least 2 cups of lettuce in the entree salad. Grilled cheese equal a meat and a bread component. The cheese counts as the meat alternate component, and the bread counts as the bread/grain component. Picadillo with rice also counts as a meat and a bread. The ground beef is the meat component, and the rice counts as the bread/grain component. Again, we cannot emphasize enough the importance of reviewing recipes daily. Recipes are always changing. Managers need to inform staff of the proper portion sizes. Cashiers need to know components and which combinations make a reimbursable meal. Also, for schools still on the priority system, recipes need to be printed for items that use the C recipe code on production and menu records. Identifying food components on the POS system. In addition to reviewing recipes, it is also important to check the POS as shown above to identify the food components counted in the recipe. Here we have the example of Asian chicken. The first recipe, number 2121, only includes a meat component. The second recipe, number 2117, includes a meat and bread component. With the first recipe that only counts as a meat component, a bread component must also be offered. That bread component could be a dinner roll, rice, or tortilla. The bread component would need to be included on the overlay and rung up separately from the Asian chicken. Always check the POS for the food components because there are several recipes where this may occur. This should not be a problem when following the menu. This typically occurs when sites enhance the menu and select recipes on their own. District menu. The district menu must be followed by all schools. Secondary schools must offer all items listed. Elementary schools must offer all items listed with the exception of line 5, which only applies to secondary schools. Line 8 indicates side salads, which must be offered daily and must be available throughout the entire lunch period. Line 9 indicates the vegetable of the day. If you run out of this vegetable, you must replace it with another vegetable from the same subgroup. Remember, the last student coming through the line must have the same choices as the first student that came through the line. Vegetable subgroups. Please refer to this table when replacing or substituting vegetables on line 9 of the district menu. Now that the requirements for offer versus serve during lunch and what a reimbursable lunch must contain have been covered, let's review the information with a quick quiz. Take a few moments to study the tray. Think about what you have learned and decide if this is a reimbursable lunch. Yes, this is a reimbursable lunch. There is 1 serving of a meat component. The 2 side salads equal 1 full vegetable component, and the half cup or 4 ounces of juice equals 1 fruit component. Take a few moments to study the tray. Think about what you have learned and decide if this is a reimbursable lunch. Yes, this is a reimbursable lunch. Even though there are only 2 items, it has 3 components. The hamburger is a meat component, and the hamburger bun is a bread grain component, and the half cup serving of mixed vegetables is a vegetable component. Take a few moments to study the tray. Think about what you have learned and decide if this is a reimbursable lunch. No, this is not a reimbursable lunch because it is missing the fruit or vegetable component. Remember, a reimbursable lunch must include at least 1 fruit or 1 vegetable component. Take a few moments to study the tray. Think about what you have learned and decide if this is a reimbursable lunch. Yes, this is a reimbursable lunch. However, the student must pay the a la carte price for 1 fruit item because it exceeds the maximum number of fruit portions a student may have. Point of sale requirements. Cashiers must count components correctly and be able to recognize a reimbursable meal. Cashiers must know the component values of all lunch food items. In order for cashiers to be able to count components correctly, the menu and recipes must be reviewed daily with cashiers and servers prior to meal service. As mentioned on a previous slide, staff must be aware of multiple component items such as pizza, lasagna, hamburgers, wraps, or hoagies. Each tray must have a half cup serving of fruit or vegetable component physically on the tray. Cashiers must not ghost items, which means they must not ring up items on the register that are not physically on the tray. Cashiers should explain to the student that their meal is not yet a complete nutritious meal and they need the additional component or components. When ghost items are added to the tray, the district is claiming meals that they are not entitled to claim because they are not reimbursable meals. This will cause the district to fail the administrative review audit. The current and Justice for All poster must be visible. The current and Justice for All poster is green. Sites should no longer have any of the red, white, and blue and Justice for All posters posted. Keep in mind that this must be visible wherever meals are served. For example, if meals are served in the classroom, then there must be one posted in the classroom. If meals are served in the spill-out area, then a poster must be on the service cart. The current offer versus serve poster must also be visible. This poster must be visible at the POS and throughout the cafeteria. This chart shows the maximum number of portions per component acceptable for a reimbursable lunch. Students may select up to 2 cups total of vegetables and fruit, which is a total of 4 half-cup portions. That means a student could select 3 half-cup portions of vegetables and 1 half-cup portion of fruit, or 2 half-cup portions of vegetables and 2 half-cup portions of fruit, without exceeding the number of items allowed. Secondary students must be given secondary portion sizes. Please review recipes to ensure correct portion sizes. This chart and the following chart, which lists the minimum number of portions per component, may be used as a tool for managers to train staff on reimbursable lunch meals. These were provided as attachments to the email notification for this training and will also be available on our website. There are many combinations of reimbursable meals. This chart shows all the combinations for the minimum number of portions per component that are allowed for a reimbursable meal. As you can see, students must select food from 3 different component categories, one of which must be a fruit or a vegetable. If only 3 components are selected and 2 are a fruit or a vegetable, then another component or another fruit or vegetable must be selected to make a reimbursable meal. This concludes the Professional Standards training on Offer versus Serve for the school lunch program.